going on, guys? It's the Club of Man 1993 coming at you for a special topic video. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I've had this topic on my mind for some time as well. So I wanted to come up here and talk to you guys about this topic I have talked about today, which is mainly going to focus on heel champions and why they seem to be booked poorly these days. There's a couple minor and major reasons why a lot of heel champions seem to be booked poorly today. For starters, we have some champions who here and there have had that coincidence where they get the belt thrown on them because they're a last resort. A prime example would be Sheamus from 2015. He was Mr. Money in the Bank, but he wasn't being booked as a strong Mr. Money in the Bank. He felt like a low-card guy holding a Money in the Bank contract. When Seth Rollins got injured right before Survivor Series, they had that tournament, and then, of course, with the timing with Roman Reigns, people are like, oh, they're not going to be happy about Roman Reigns winning the championship because WWE is just scared to death knowing that, oh, we want to give Roman a title, we know the fans won't like it, but we're going to do it anyways, but we're going to just, sort of find a way to piss them off anyways. What happens is you have a guy who you're barely using on TV at all, pretty much just another version of Jinder Mahal, except the guy who once was WWE Champion, despite the fact that when he was WWE Champion, his runs were terrible because he couldn't win a match clean, and the reason why he won the championship in the first place is because John Cena fell through a table. He pushed John Cena through a table. That's the only way he won the championship. It was a weak-looking way back in 2009 at TLC. In 2015, though, when he's Money in the Bank, he cashed in, and nobody could take him seriously as champion because he was just booked poorly, leading up to, no tease of him actually becoming WWE Champion. The closest, probably the best, was when he almost cashed in on Seth Rollins at Night of Champions a year before Kane returned, and he legitimately destroyed Seth Rollins before choke slamming Sheamus. And then Sheamus, from that point on, was treated like a pawn, pretty much holding on to that championship, keeping it warm until they felt the moment was right to put the title on Roman Reigns. And what happened? At TLC, with help of the League of Nations, Roman Reigns lost, but then Roman snapped and beat the crap out of everyone in the League of Nations, and even go as far as beating the crap out of Triple H. The next night on Raw, Vince McMahon returned to address Roman Reigns, saying, "You want the championship? Fine. You have a match tonight, but the stipulation is, if you lose and don't win the championship, you're fired." Stacking all the entities Roman Reigns. The League of Nations came out there to try to stop him. Mr. McMahon was out there doing anything he can to stop him from winning the match. And Roman had to go as far as Superman punching the chairman of WWE in the face to eventually win that championship. Awesome moment, I'll never forget that. But what happened after that, of course, they sat on their butts and thought, oh, the champion, he's a champion, now people are going to love him. And they kind of just, spiraled it back down to where it was before. Well, mainly it was all right until the night of the Royal Rumble when Roman lost the championship to Triple H, and then they just gave him an opportunity after saying he's not getting another opportunity again. That made no sense. But I'm not here to talk about Roman Reigns. But the point is Sheamus was like a last resort. He was not booked probably to be a champion, and then look what happened. It turned out to be awful. Just like Jinder Mahal's title reign right now. I mean, in some ways, it kind of made sense how he got to it. He wasn't winning it on Raw. Over on SmackDown, he started that stable with the Singh brothers, and he's won matches because of the help. He can't win clean, but, we know he can't do that, so the only way he can become champion is if he gets help. That kind of makes sense, even though it's not doing enough for me to want to see him continue to be champion this long. I want to take that belt off him so bad at Hell in a Cell, but it's probably not going to happen because they want to be champion during that India tour, which is not going to matter anyways to me, in my honest opinion. But to me, the reason why most heel WWE champions have been booked poorly today is the fact of this idea that they're turning out to be coming across as cowards. Now, when I say cowards, some of them, yeah, they're afraid of specific superstars. I mean, some of them are not completely cowards, but when that one superstar comes around, it exposes their weakness. Alexa Bliss example, I don't consider her a full cowardly heel, but the fact is whenever she comes toe-to-toe with Nia Jax, she's obviously scared to death. She tries to run away from her. But then there's champions who are booked that way because, they do whatever it takes, putting in their own hands to get to the championship, but afterwards they don't want to defend it anymore, and they just lose clean on Raw or SmackDown all the time, and they can't win a match without any help because they're afraid of losing that championship. It's not so much the fact that they're afraid of the wrestler, their opponent. It's more so they're afraid of losing that belt. They've done all this work to get to it, and now they just don't want to lose it. It's desperation. And that's a problem, because it makes our champions look like jokes. Prime example, very recently, Kevin Owens won a Universal Championship after Finn Balor got hurt. And some people might say, okay, that might be been a last-minute decision, but, you know, rumors were having it that Kevin Owens was supposed to feud with Finn Balor last fall for the Universal Championship. Probably might have been a Night of Champions, maybe. Could have been, you know, actually probably might have been Seth and Finn in a rematch at, Clash of Champions, possibly. But that might be a long shot. But there was rumors supposed to be a feud involving Balor and Kevin Owens last fall. So Kevin Owens was going to be in the Universal title picture either way. However, though, when Owens won that title, Triple H handed it to him pretty much. And after that, Owens could not win a match clean. And that's another problem that people have with champions these days, is they lose matches on Raw or SmackDown one-on-one clean. Taking the pin clean. No bullcrap out. Here and there have been some instances where it wasn't completely clean, or it could have been like, you know, like a triple threat match, or like a fatal four-way, or a tag team match, something like that. And they weren't the one that took the pin, which it protected them in some ways, but still. That's what happened with Kevin Owens. It happened to the Club. It probably happened to Seth Rollins a few times as well, but Seth Rollins did eventually prove that he could win a match by himself clean. Same happened with Charlotte. Charlotte was using her father and then Dana Brooke to win matches, but then she was still winning matches clean at times, making her, you know, champion. Like, okay, here and there when you can have, you know, cheating heel tactics to win, but if it's all the time, like Kevin Owens, then that's what's going to cause people to not care about you as champion, because you're not a legit champion if you can't win a match by yourself. As champion, you're supposed to be winning matches. If you're not winning matches, how are you going to be considered a champion, pretty much? What WWE needs to do, instead of having them all be cowards and walking away from fights because they don't want to lose their championship, they need to take matters into their own hands. A prime example, Samoa Joe. When Samoa Joe won the NXT Championship, when he chased out an NXT Championship, he was doing whatever it took for him to get another opportunity. And whenever he was NXT Champion, I mean, yes, he did want to lose a title, but he protected it on his own terms. He wasn't like, you know, constantly getting someone else to help him win his matches. He was still winning matches, showing that he can still win matches on his own. And, I mean, I don't think he really had any help at all when he was NXT Champion. And that's the good thing. You know, Samoa Joe was so dominating that, you know, him losing clean was going to be something that was, well, I mean, it was kind of obvious because Shinsuke Nakamura was ready, but the fact that Samoa Joe was so dominating of a champion that you could have thrown anybody in there and you were going to think that Samoa Joe was going to dominate them, and that's what we want to see. But then, again, as I said earlier, there could be a case where, like, a better example would be Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, where, you know, Alexa can do well by herself, but when she comes against Nia Jax, she's scared out of her soul. Because that's the thing. You can, you know, have weaknesses to heel champions, but you want to make them feel legit threats. Because that's what helps build the baby faces in overcoming these monsters. Like if Braun Strowman would win the championship, people overcoming him. Kind of an example, not completely, because I don't think she was a full-on heel, more of a tweener, but Asuka. When Asuka started getting a little more of a cockier attitude, I started considering her a little bit more as a heel, but it doesn't mean she's still going to be debuting as a babyface on Raw. We'll have to see what happens when she does debut, hopefully sometime in the next couple weeks. But Asuka was a dominating champion. She got that more cockier attitude, saying nobody is ready for me at all, and she believed it. But then, when she faced Ember Moon for the first time, which was at NXT TakeOver Orlando, she for the first time felt that her championship was in danger. Even when she was facing off in like fatal four-way matches, like she was still taking it seriously. She felt that she had it in the palm of her hands. But as soon as Ember Moon came along when she was, getting ready to go for that Eclipse, Asuka realized she was a threat. And that's when Asuka realized, I need to protect my title. And whenever Ember Moon was in the Battle Royal to become #1 contender, Asuka went in and tried taking Ember Moon out. She injured her, so she went to defend her title. But when Ember came back, she had a title opportunity in her hands because she was supposed to be in the Fatal 4-Way at NXT TakeOver Chicago, but couldn't because of an injury to Asuka. And +2, you can show also how special wins and losses feel, Road Dogg, especially when it came to Asuka's undefeated streak, and it's still going on because she still hasn't lost a match yet, unless WWE screws it up big time when she gets onto Raw. But she beat Ember Moon. Ember Moon was a threat, and she still beat her. Asuka freaking kicked out of her Eclipse, showing that, even if Asuka was a heel champion or not, she still kind of was more so the heel in that feud going to that second match because Asuka knew she was a threat. And that's what we need to see more out of our heel champions. Not them just, walking away, needing help every single time, but you can, have the mic skills to back it up, like The Miz does. Yes, The Miz does need help from The Miz, Taraj, and Maurice quite often to win, but he's proven he can win, and he's great on the mic to the fact that, he can bring that prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship, that he'd make him a great champion as well. So him, needing his help, and, and the other thing is, too, is The Miz doesn't always walk away from a fight. When The Miz sees a fight that he realizes, wait, this could be an advantage for me. Just like last year, an example. Last year, in the build to his career versus title match with Dolph Ziggler at No Mercy, Miz didn't want anything to do with Dolph because he gave Dolph a couple opportunities, which is true. And also what makes Miz a legitimate great heel champion is the fact that he says the truth on the mic, and it's believable, and you want to get more invested in him. But when Dolph Ziggler really went out of the way and said, I can't let go of this, it's too hard. So I'm going to literally put it all on the line, Miz. One more chance at No Mercy. If I win your Intercontinental title, I win your Intercontinental title. But if I lose, screw it, I'm done. My career is over. And The Miz took that as an opportunity. And he capitalized on it. He didn't walk away from that fight. He wanted it because he knew he had that in the palm of his hand. That's what we need to see more out of heel champions. Dominating champions. And, if you want to expose a weakness in them, fine. Just don't have them lose all the time clean in non-title matches. And that could probably help also build the baby faces as well, as they will eventually get over because the heels are the ones getting heat, and the baby faces are, giving the guys who are giving the heat what they deserve. That's good heat. If you're just doing the bad heat with, Stephanie McMahon, though, constantly, burying superstars, just knowing that they can't lay a finger on her, then that's just not good heat at all, though. But that is my thoughts. What are your thoughts on heel champions? Why do you think heel champions are booked poorly these days? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Please make sure to click that like button for this video. Subscribe to my channel for more content to come to this channel. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, also at TheManAirboy93. And with that, guys, I will see you all later. Have a great day.